Oh, interesting.
All right.
So even at the very beginning of this, like the little chime is specific to Legend of Zelda, but it's like a similar thing to Super Mario World, where instead of the coin pickup, it's like I picked up a rupee.
Oh yeah, little.
That's actually really clever.
The little clink jingle thing.
Yeah. Also, we're live.
We are live. This is Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. So,
Which I have never played.
well, I was going to ask you what your, oh, sorry, I'm so used to putting my own name in. I guess it would make more sense
Yes,
in
the
this,
hero of
this
time.
context to,
What a bizarre input mechanism.
right? I always found it weird that Link has a name, but every single Zelda game is like, what do you want to name your character?
Yeah, it's, the classic thing of like, because, like, I think Breath of the Wild was the first one to actually call Link. Like, because there was voice acting and everything, right?
Actually, yes. Yeah, because he's the only character that doesn't speak in the game.
Yeah, other than grunts and such.
Yeah.
He's more emotive with his body, which is
Classic.
sometimes hilarious.
Classic silent hero.
Yeah. Strong silent type.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what your overall history was with Zelda.
Yeah, so it's funny because when I was in high school, depending on where you looked on some of the computers that were in the computer lab, you could find such things as Earthquake Simulator, which was Quake 3 Arena.
Okay.
And
What the hell was that?
yeah, it was under Earthquake Simulator because then no one really minded.
No one knew you were playing Quake.
Yeah, and this was also where the professor was at the front of the class and all the computers faced the back wall. So all the computer courses were self-directed, so you just had a book, you worked through it, and the teacher was there to help. And I always had an aptitude for it's what I do for a job. And so what I would do, and what some of the other folks in the class would do, would be you would get like 5 weeks ahead of time in the coursework and then just kind of fuck off for a while and play Earthquake Simulator, or you would find the Super Nintendo emulator, and I've actually played through, I believe, the first I think until the Dark World in Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, I played through like 5 times on various things.
Okay.
So but it was so long ago, I think I tried playing it on my Switch, and I just haven't sat down and finished it. But
yeah,
my very first Zelda game that I got that didn't fall off the back of a truck was Ocarina of Time for my Nintendo 64. And that was my first foray into the Legend of Zelda.
So it was the first Zelda game you ever played.
Right.
And you beat Ocarina of Time?
Yes. Yeah, I loved it.
All right,
yeah,
so you've got
Ocarina
Ocarina of Time under your belt. The
Yep.
first act, I suppose, of Link to the Past, which effectively ends up being 10% of the game.
Right. Which is why I think I've done it 5 times, because it's not very long.
Because it doesn't. It's like Ocarina of Time, right? You could barrel through the first 3 dungeons as the whole kid section in a couple hours, really.
Right. Yeah.
And then see,
that was always one of my favorite things to do, was just be them have that little
it's almost like a Looney Tunes
Wile E. Coyotes thing of ah!
Yeah.
And even when Link does it, it's still kind of funny.
So you've played the opening section for this game, and then Breath of the Wild?
Yes, I have completed Breath of the Wild.
Which is, ironically, I haven't.
Wait. Yeah, I am so stoked for, not to date this episode, but I am so stoked for Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, go ahead and date it. I'm excited too, just because I love new Zelda games, but It's so hard. So you talk about playing Link to the Past and getting interested in the first, the opening act, essentially, and that's about where you end up stopping. Whether you do it on purpose, that just happens to be where you stop. I'm the same way
eventually
with
the professor does come around, and if you can't close the emulator fast enough, you hit the power button, it's just like, ah, the stupid friggin' computer, man. Like,
it always breaks on me. I'm the same way with...
Doesn't matter, still got a 100 in the class, baby.
I'm the same way with Breath of the Wild, where I always stop around the same point, and I don't mean to. Right. And it's not that far in the game. I don't
like, did you make it off a tutorial plateau?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
so you got to the point where you're
not
like,
much
in
farther. Yeah, I usually always end up stopping on... There's like this town you go to, and you meet this like scientist that's a little girl.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I always end up inevitably stopping there. All right, well, we rescued Zelda, so now the game's over.
All right, cool,
Done.
game over.
Yeah, see you guys.
Do you understand? What?
Yes.
Also, I like the fact that you unlock the door, immediately go for the chest. Oh, yeah, hi, princess, what's up?
What's up, girl? So Breath of the Wild is the only Zelda game that I haven't fully completed.
Oh, man, you totally should, because
it's just such a different... I mean, you spend...
It is so different,
like 30 years playing Zelda games that... I mean, all Zelda games, including Breath of the Wild, are effectively the same story. It's actually one of the reasons why Majora's Mask is my favorite Zelda game.
Because it's not the same story?
It's a completely different story and world, and it acts as like a sequel, essentially.
Yeah, because it's a direct sequel to Ocarina of Time. Like, it takes place, a couple of years afterwards?
Unspecified.
Yeah, sometime after...
Link's
still a kid, so he's like...
Yeah, I usually say it takes place relatively quickly. Someone had made a ROM hack that bridged the gap between the two games. And I always put them relatively close together, so... But
yeah.
You spend 30 years playing Zelda games that are more or less the same kinds of... the same kind of structure.
Just was not interested. Who ran into my sword?
Getting to Breath of the Wild where you're like, oh, your weapons take damage now.
Yeah, they degrade.
There's crafting and cooking, and it's just like, it takes a
lot
to
convince
myself.
Enemies will absolutely decimate you.
Yeah, it takes a lot to convince myself that it actually is a Zelda game.
Yeah.
And I think
that's
why
I got on with it so much, was that I don't have the same history.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, oh yeah, this is like a cool Zelda experience in just this giant open world that is... And I've always liked the open world exploration-y sort of things. This is very Dragon Warrior-y. The like
I'm sure they brought over a lot of the same developers. Woo.
Which I do have a funny story about that. So I've been replaying the classic Final Fantasy games and the Pixel remasters. And
oh yes.
Yeah, I actually
finished
Final Fantasy 3.
Thanks to our foray through our journey to Boston to go see the Final Fantasy concert.
Yeah, and actually...
I'm sure that didn't influence you at all.
No, not at all. And, well, that and the fact that they were on sale on Steam, and the Steam Deck is...
I missed it.
Yeah, I think I got all 6 for like $50 or something. So
it's not bad.
If
that's actually kind of what I was. That's actually kind of what I was waiting for. Was going to go on sale, and I must have just missed it.
And because they recently, once again, not to date this episode, but they recently did like a Square Enix like publisher sale, as they are wont to do every now and again. And I picked up the FF3 3D remake as well, because
now when you're saying Final Fantasy 3, you're talking about the Japanese, like the real 3.
Yeah, in the modern timeline of 3 equaling 3, not 3 equaling 6.
E6, yeah, okay.
Yeah, the actual Final Fantasy 3.
The real 3, not that fake 3.
The one with the job system, not the one with
silly Americans.
Yeah, and it's really too bad, because I know why it didn't, come to America. They wanted to focus on, translating Final Fantasy IV for the SNES, and how Final Fantasy III, like, I think it came out in Japan in, like, 1990. At that point, like, the Super Nintendo was out, and, work was already very well into Final Fantasy IV.
Yeah.
But, I enjoyed the crap out of Final Fantasy 3.
Nice. Okay.
It's actually the one I was least enthused about because, like, I'm like, the job system, that sounds complicated. I don't know if I'll like it.
Well, it's
And I
gotta be
wound up
relatively
absolutely
similar
loving
to.
it.
I'd imagine it feels somewhat similar to, in a way, FF8.
A little bit. It's definitely... There are a few points in 3 where it's definitely, like, shoehorned in that it's like, you need to be this job class to win this fight.
Just so you know what happens if you pull the wrong one.
What happens if you pull the wrong one? Oh, a bunch of snakes.
All those snakes come down.
Oh my god.
Zelda is rescued. And I actually literally mean that.
Is this your doing, Link? Nah, I just was here.
What's up, strange kid? Yes, Zelda is now officially rescued in this game.
Huh. Destroy the wizard. Okay.
Yeah, sorry if I'm breezing.
Yeah,
through
Master
the,
Sword. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mark the house.
You play one Zelda game, you play them all.
Do you understand? What? Look, I just had to rescue the lady. You're asking me to kill a wizard? I feel like I'm getting in a little over my head here.
And that is essentially the prologue. We, our uncle was left mysteriously in the middle of the night. We found
killed,
him dying in a castle. What button is the? Oh, there it is.
Oh right, now I forget why I never really got far in Legend of Zelda because I basically became a professional lawnmower.
You know, I mean, this is an age of games where they don't hold your hand, right? I mean, I've got the little X telling me where to go, but
but like most of Hyrule is open to you. I mean, most of the things will pack your shit in, but you know, that's part of the fun.
Not necessarily. At this point in the game, it's mostly just your progression in certain areas is stopped by
you don't have the item from the dungeon that you haven't done yet.
Exactly.
You don't have the
you
hammer.
Don't have
you
bombs
don't have the hook
yet.
shot. You don't have the bombs.
Bombs ended up being a big thing. If I remember things, it has been a while since I played this game, but if I remember correctly, I'm going to go off and get a couple of heart pieces real quick. Because I think I can. But we'll go down to Kakariko Village. Well, my whole asking you about Zelda is more of just a setup for what I'm... Well, I thought there was a shortcut back here. Ow! What I'm going to affectionately call the Zeldacast. Since you don't have a lot of history of Zelda games, only just marginal ones, I figured it would be fun to kind of bring you through some of the Zelda games one by one.
Yeah. Wait, can you cut the signs like you can in Ocarina of Time?
No.
Damn it.
And most of the time, these signs basically just say they're just wanted signs.
Oh, because you kidnapped, in large finger quotes, Zelda.
Quote-unquote, kidnapped the princess.
It is cool that they put Link's face into, like, the font files, though. That's pretty rad.
I just fought the urge to run up and slash the chickens.
Yeah, that was always the thing, where it's just like, hey, you know, if you beat up that chicken, you get a reward. Like, you get, like, the roast chicken that replenishes your full life, and then it's like, wow, this thing's really hard, and now they're all killing me. What the hell happened? And it's like, yeah, it happens to everyone. Yeah, so. I've always liked, you know, the Zelda games because, like, you know, it's high fantasy, you know, hero story, you know, go save the princess, save the world sort of thing.
Yeah.
And, like, there's something timeless about A Link to the Past.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
It still looks just as good today, you know, as it did 30-something years ago, you know?
91?
No, even more than 30. Good grief.
I think this game came, I think Link to the Past came out in 91. Well, so question for you.
Hey, this isn't the X.
Like I said, I was, I'll come back for that. What made you, because this was, you kind of gave me dealer's choice, but my choices were either this or Zelda 2, and to anyone who's not fully aware of the Zelda games, Link's Adventure is different.
Yeah, Black Sheep is perhaps too harsh.
Yes, I'm not going to say it's a bad game, because it's not. It's just, especially once you get kind of
different.
Ingrained in the Zelda games, then it's a very different kind of game. But what made you think about doing this one first?
I guess it's kind of like quintessential. And I can stand to look at it for several hours instead of you know, the original not A Link to the Past, but the original Legend of Zelda for the NES, which is I mean, it's a classic, but those graphics didn't age well.
I mean, the graphics are dated. It's a lot more simplistic. I mean,
yeah.
As much
and
as
talk about not holding your hand.
as much as I say that Ocarina of Time is. Oh, I don't need bomb bags to use bombs, by the way.
Oh yeah, you can just pick them up.
As much as I like to say, oh yeah, there's just a fairy fountain.
Oh,
that Ocarina of Time is just a remake of Link to the Past. I mean, effectively, you can say that any Zelda game is effectively a remake of every other Zelda game. Link to the Past is basically taking the original Zelda game and then, look at that!
Nice.
Look at that block.
Wow, nicely done. Really thought you were gonna lose a little bit of health there.
I just turned right at the right moment. Link to the Past effectively is the original Zelda game, just with like enhanced ideas. It's
which is also why, you know, I decided to either go for something that was kind of oddball, or kind of, you know, go with the OG in 16-bit graphics that I can stand to look at.
I'm gonna show you this guy real quick. Yeah, I mean, Link to the Past is probably the most influential of all the Zelda games, I would say.
Is that you? Just as a bard?
No. That, you don't need to do anything with this. You can come back here and play a little tune, and then all the animals come back and he gives you stuff. But it's one of the, there's a lot of stuff in this game. It's like, where's my thing? Start. A lot of items in here that aren't necessary for the game.
Right. But it's just like they help you in some way. You know, like I remember the what was it, the Big Goron sword in Ocarina of Time, that it's like you didn't need it. But
it's such a hassle.
It was an awesome weapon.
It's such a hassle to go grab that too.
Yes, it is.
Such a hassle.
But
it
was kind of awesome to just be like, who needs a shield when I have a giant effing two-handed sword?
I don't think I can move very quickly enough right now. Yeah, I mean, they do something similar in Majora's Mask as well.
Oh yeah, because like they're the masks you need to complete the game.
Well, yes, there is that. I was thinking sword specifically. You can actually upgrade your sword.
Oh.
In Majora's Mask, you have to go through a few steps. It's not as time-consuming as the Big Goron sword.
Yeah, that was. I mean, it's something I never would have discovered on my own. I think I had the strategy guide for Ocarina of Time as a kid.
I did as well.
Hey.
I did as well. I never knew if this was a man or a woman.
What? Master Sword?
Yeah, I basically just need them to tell me that I need to go find the. I always called them Sasparilla, but I can't. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Also, I've been playing Final Fantasy so much, I'm like, why aren't you looking in the bookshelves for like hidden items, like a potion or something?
What did I miss? I missed a wall, didn't I?
What?
I need to.
And you said I got it. Oh, yeah, the Hylian, yeah, blah, 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 mighty blade, sleeping deep in the forest.
Look for the elder.
Someone in the village who can tell you.
I don't think he's.
Excuse me while I destroy your fine pottery.
I thought there was a. Oh, you know what? It might be next door. I'm just looking for a wall to blow up.
Oh, and like the fallout shelter that is apparently standard in most Hylian villages. Like, seriously. Oh yeah, that wall looks suspicious.
Yeah, there's that.
You got rupees. And more rupees.
I think you can only do 2. I don't think I can get a 3rd one. Yeah, there's no way I can move this block.
Because of course this game is sensible and it doesn't allow you to open chests from the rear.
Nor does it allow me to use blocks once I've already moved them.
Can you reset it by going out and back again?
I don't think you can. I think it stays that way. So like it locks you in at just the 2.
Hey, heart piece.
No. Take that money. Not that you really
Look at these rupees in jars. I mean, for real.
I leave all my money in clay jars hanging around the house. What are you talking about?
Yeah, for some, crazed hero of time to come in and start throwing against the wall.
The hero of time who's always like 12 years old.
I mean,
the X is there, but
it is something that's kind of like, it must be unique to more Eastern games where like, I think of like Dragon Quest where like, the hero is like 16.
Yeah, I mean, there's
like,
some truth there, because even a lot of other RPGs that are like more modernized.
Yeah.
It's setting wise, all the heroes are like high schoolers, young high schoolers even in Persona.
Yeah,
like the heroes
they're
are
like literally high schoolers.
Yeah, but they're like not about to graduate. They still have like a couple years left in school.
Yeah, they're like 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even like I think of like the Final Fantasy.
Like second years or something like that.
Yeah. But I can't believe you threw a bush at that guy. And it took damage.
I think this might just be another fairy fountain.
It certainly has the music.
It is.
Hi.
I don't need you.
Oh, shortcut.
But you watched me play this game.
I think it was when we were in college, and you did it like in one sitting.
It was a Sunday. I think it was raining or snowing, and I just wanted something to do.
Yeah, and you just like...
I couldn't remember how much... I don't know how much you remembered of that playthrough.
I mean, it all kind of blended
paying attention.
But yeah, like I remember you doing it, and then like 6 hours went by, and I'm like, holy crap, you just like beat the game.
Yeah, I think it took me... I think I spent 8 hours.
It did take you all day.
It did. I think it took me 8 hours, and I 100%ed it. I got all the extra hearts and all the extra.
Because hey, if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. I didn't realize that could go through scenery.
I am.
Jeez, you're really finding all the fairy fountains.
I'm not planning on 100%ing this as part of our Zeldacast.
Why not? I mean, I get it.
I don't want to set precedent. It probably wouldn't.
Yeah,
take
that's
too
also
long.
Completely understandable.
I probably wouldn't mind doing it for something like Link to the Past, but like, man, going through Majora's Mask will take a while.
Yeah, there's so much stuff. Yeah.
I thought there was a cave back here.
If there is in the Dark World. Spoiler.
There's a lot of stuff in the Dark World.
Yeah, there is.
Ocarina of Time might take a little while to do 100%. Actually, Wind Waker would probably take the longest to do 100%.
Oh my word, those things.
I always thought they looked like horses' heads when I was a kid.
Yeah, a bit. Yeah, I can see that. And you just wound up playing like statue baseball. So where the heck are we?
Map, as far as the map is concerned.
Hello, wise sage.
Sasparilla,
oh yeah, Sasparilla.
Which I always called him Sasparilla as a kid.
Yeah.
Not because I didn't know what his name was. I just preferred calling him Sasparilla.
Can you retrieve the pennant of?
Yes.
Something? Yeah, sure.
See,
probably.
like to prove my point, even though it gave me that X in the left corner of the map in Kakariko Village, I needed to go to the east side of the map to talk to this dude.
Alright, you got some bombs. And a bunch of rupees. Oh, interesting that in this one they do like you got 50 green rupees rather than you got like a purple rupee or something.
Yeah, I think the only that's where we are. And now that I've talked to him, it shows me where all the pendants are. So again, like running off of that Ocarina of Time analogy,
get the three things, get the Master Sword,
and then you go for more things.
Yeah, and then it's like, all right, go, find the sages of. Blah, blah, blah,
yeah,
blah.
It's not quite as explained in the same narrative function as Ocarina. It's not as cinematic, but it's more or less the exact same setup. I want my bombs back.
It's just now a person's telling you to do it instead of you hallucinating that a big tree is telling you to be the hero of time.
Well, the tree just tells us to go inside his mouth and
right, which is why. Yeah, I mean,
which feels more like a drug-induced fever dream.
Yeah, it's just like, are we sure that Link's the hero of time and didn't just like have a bad trip?
Because Zelda's still the one. Once we sneak our way, we go through a nightmarish fever dream with a talking tree just so we can go sneak inside a heavily fortified castle and talk to the princess who's not expecting us there. You know.
Right.
Normal kid things.
Yeah. I mean, everything works out well in the end, but sheesh. Oh my god, those statues are hideous. And those statues are hideous.
Yeah. All right, we're in the first dungeon.
Yeah.
Nice and quick.
That's definitely a switch. And... oh, hey, movie.
Yeah, so green, blue, and red are the only colored. Purple are the only colors in the game.
Which are 1, 5, and 10?
1, 5, and 20.
Oh, 20.
Yeah. Well, I mean, red's 20 in Ocarina of Time and all the other Zelda games as well.
Oh.
I don't think they have a denomination of 10.
No, they probably don't.
Because purple is 50.
Right. And then, aren't there golden rupees that are worth like 100?
There's yellow that they're super, super rare. Those are 100.
Hmm.
And those are placed very specifically. And then
yeah, which is like, there's 1 or 2 of them in the game.
And then, I don't know if they're in Ocarina, but I know in Majora's Mask, where's the middle one? There's a 200. There's a silver one that's 200.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how often...
Map.
The great thing about Majora's Mask is once you know where, like, the silver rupees are, when you reset time, you can basically just go infinite again.
Because all of the go infinite.
Yeah, all the treasure chests just like refill themselves.
Mm-hmm. Time loops, baby.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to when we get there to Majora's Mask.
Yeah, I am too. Because again, like, I never played it because like I enjoyed, you know, the bejesus out of Ocarina of Time, but like when I was a kid, like the whole concept of having a time limit on the amount of time that you could be in the world like that. Like, I didn't understand the time mechanic.
Yeah, the time mechanic.
And, like, I never played it. Like, I was just like, no, I want to just play the game for more than the game's 3 days.
It's not as
not realizing that I could.
Yeah, it's not as constraining as you think it is, especially when you learn pretty quickly that you can actually play a song that slows down time.
Yes!
Pretty heavily, too.
Yeah.
So you don't really... All you have to remember is like, okay, I'm going to tackle one dungeon, and then I'm going to reset time and do the other dungeon.
Yeah.
You just kind of go step by step, and there are certain things that you'll need to do fairly consistently. Like, okay. Just remember if I need to go left, down, or right first. Oh, I actually I need a key anyway.
Well, that's a giant chest.
Oh, I don't have a key.
Oh. I keep on expecting those, like, green things to wake up and
they will.
Killing you. Oh,
they will.
Of course they do.
Majora's Mask is the only Zelda game where you can actually refight, and in a lot of ways, have to refight the bosses.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then there's like that exploit of the banking system where like you put your rupees in the bank and yet somehow they survive the time loop for
everything else goes away. Yep, everything else goes away, but you hold on to your money.
You just
gotta remember to drop it off before you reset time. But yeah, it's not nearly as constraining as it seems on the outset.
Yeah, which I mean, and of course, you know, at the time I was also like playing GoldenEye and Perfect Dark. I didn't have time for kiddie games like Legend of Zelda. I mean, not that GoldenEye and Perfect Dark are bad games, but there is... And also, you know, I was a kid. I didn't have money. I couldn't buy every game I wanted, so... And I think it was around that time that I had actually... my dad had gotten for us a PlayStation, so, like, I was also playing stuff on the PlayStation.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like the original Air Combat, you know, Final Fantasy VII, Crash, and stuff like that. And, you know, I was like, wow, this is, like, super awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up more as a Nintendo kid. I mean, the first PlayStation I ever owned was a PS2. And even then, I really didn't play a lot, and I've kind of bounced back and forth over the years, but I've always been much more... I mean, nowadays, as an adult, I'm much more about my Xbox than I am about any other system.
Yeah.
But I mean, for years, I grew up on the Super Nintendo. I had the N64.
Mm-hmm.
So like I never had any of those. I never had. Ow!
Oh, that was mean. That guy just.
That was a bad spawn point.
Yeah.
I didn't have any PlayStation systems until like 2002 or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, because we got the PlayStation, and then I think the first console that like I bought with my money, I believe, was the Dreamcast.
Oh, nice. For like the 3 games that are worth playing on that system.
There are more games that are worth playing on that, and I mean, one could say that Sega kind of got shafted by Sony and kind of everyone else too around the Dreamcast era. But I was actually reading something about. Are you familiar with the term the Osborne effect?
I'm not.
So it's a concept that comes from the computer industry, where Osborne Computer in the 80s had a computer called the Osborne 1. And it was selling decently well, but in order to hype up the replacement for the Osborne, colloquially called the Osborne 2, they were basically saying, hey, we have this Osborne 1, and next year we're going to release the Osborne 2, which will be more awesome in more ways. I didn't know you could do that. Oh, hey.
I don't need bottles, though.
Yeah, well, that was a keen foresight. But yeah, so what happened was, when everyone realized that the Osborne 1 was pretty good, but a replacement computer was coming later, basically all the distributors stopped ordering the Osborne 1 because they wanted to wait for the Osborne 2. And the company went under. Because they needed the money from selling the Osborne 1s to make the Osborne 2 and keep the company afloat. But when no one bought the Osborne 1 because the Osborne 2 was coming, the company wound up going under. And it wasn't the sole reason, but, it kind of happened to Sega with, like, you think of all the things that Sega did to try to, keep up with the likes of, in the early days, Nintendo, like, especially with the Super FX chip and showing off what, like, Star Fox and Donkey Kong Country could do.
Yeah.
And the Genesis couldn't do any of that. And so they tried to do stuff like, the Sega CD and the 32X, which were kind of stopgaps, and then you had the Saturn. Oh, go ahead.
To a degree, the Genesis at the time, especially compared to the Super Nintendo, had a higher bit rate.
Yeah, blast processing.
I think the Dreamcast was just, it was poorly timed on its release.
It was too little, too late. And I think a lot of publishers, going back to the Saturn, where the Saturn was only around for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Because they released the Saturn, it wasn't selling well, and then they're like, oh, by the way, we're working on the Dreamcast, which is going to be better than the Saturn. And everyone's like, well, why would I buy a Saturn? And, like, it's kind of a bummer because, like, the Saturn had some fantastic games on it. I think of, like, some side-scrolling shoot-em-ups, like Thunder Force, were on the Saturn. And they had some compendiums that had some of the other games on it, too, which one of these days I would really like to find and play. But no one bought a Saturn, no one developed for the Saturn because they knew the Dreamcast was coming.
Yeah.
And Sega had kind of, alienated
the Saturn.
it. Oh my God.
The Saturn was the stopgap.
Yeah. And it's a shame because the Dreamcast was just so awesome. Playing stuff like Crazy Taxi, Sonic Adventure. It's really nice that they prepared this whole dance routine for you.
And this is more or less the boss fight, too.
Yeah, it's, again, really delightful that they prepared this whole routine for you. Do they, like, shoot you or anything, or do they just, like, hop around?
They just hop around.
I mean, it is the first boss, so, like, it's not going to, like, raffle stomp you, so... At least it's that. But yeah, like, man, the Dreamcast, like, I think of games like Power Stone and like Skies of Arcadia.
I was gonna say the list of big Dreamcast games is not terrifically large.
Yeah.
You've got, like you said, you've got Power Stone. Ow.
Yep. Power Stone 1 and 2.
Skies of Arcadia.
Yep.
You've got Crazy Taxi.
Yep. Oh, now he's pissed.
Yeah, just from the left, though.
Yeah, you have stuff like that, and you have, you know, side scrollers like Ikaruga and Radiant Silvergun. That was on. Oh, jeez. All right, you got there. Yeah, like Ikaruga and Radiant Silvergun.
I'm already running out of games. I mean, even the Dreamcast itself wasn't around for that long.
No, it wasn't, because it came out in '99 and was done by 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
Because it couldn't play DVDs, and Sony had the good grace to have third-party developers on their platform because they hadn't alienated them all like Sega had.
Yep.
And it's really a shame because...
Why
What?
no jump? Link!
I was gonna say, you've done bigger jumps than that, and I saw you do it.
That's alright. Alright, so one pendant's already done.
Alright. We
So
got
we're
the
gonna
green
go to
one.
Gonna go get the blue in the bottom left.
Death Mountain or the other place.
I don't remember what they call it.
The desert
really
place.
Kept track of names when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's just like, nah, there are things I need to go get, and me and the green guy are going to go get them.
I'm just going to go to the desert and do things.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of rupees.
Yeah. Should invest or something.
I don't remember collecting this many rupees as quickly.
Yeah, you know, now that you mention it, yeah, you do have a lot. When did that happen?
I did find there's a treasure room in the dungeon.
Oh yeah, you got like 100 rupees out of that, but still, damn.
I can go down here yet. Nope. Because I don't have the flippers. Can I get the flippers yet?
I don't know.
I don't think I can do. I don't remember what items I need to do the flippers.
I mean,
Let's try it.
I don't know.
I don't remember. I actually don't think I've really fully played this game since the last...
Since 15 years ago when you played it last.
Since my massive playthrough when you watched it, yeah. And there are certain games that I play pretty much like once a year. And this, I think mainly because of how long it takes to get through this game.
Yeah.
And trying to do everything. Because I play Banjo-Kazooie basically, well, I play Banjo-Kazooie like a couple times a year.
I do that with, Hi.
Can I get a bottle frame?
Cool, while you're out here, I'm gonna raid your... Oh,
it's a shop. Well, I have the money for it. Ah!
Yeah, you have the money, but,
I was hoping
you don't
she
have
would
a
just give me a
bottle.
bottle with it for the first time.
Yes. Yeah, you're making something.
I cannot.
Well, dang.
I need the gloves. I need the power gloves.
Yeah, so you can, like, heave to not only the little rocks, but the big rocks, right? Lift with your back, remember. Ah, crab. Wait,
kids,
go
when you're
back to that
lifting-
previous screen.
Lift and twist. What?
That arrow there, what's that pointing to?
Diving through here, which I can't do yet without drowning.
Oh. Still, that's pretty clever. It's just like, hey, look over here.
There's a few things I could do with the power glove.
Now the sort of black stones there, like you see the green, the like light green ones that you can pick up with the power glove, but can you do that? Like the black ones you just cannot pick up, right?
You can. So a lot of the stuff is, see where it says lift 1?
Oh,
and then
there's like
equipment
a lift 2 and
where
3.
the sword is 1. Yeah, there's different levels. So like you can there's different items that basically like any of the other Zelda games that replace the sword, that replace your which way do I need to go?
Right, because I imagine the Master Sword is like level 2 or something, like sword level 2.
Yeah, so you can upgrade your sword, you can upgrade... That's not where I need to go. Upgrade the sword, upgrade the the shield. Oh,
Yep, upgrade your tunic to red and blue. Or blue and red. Whatever the proper order is.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just realizing that I went in the wrong direction. That's okay.
Eh.
And I don't think I can get through here. No.
I bet you can. Hi. Stab.
There we go.
Man, that guy's got an arm. Doink.
Look how fast I ran.
Also, goodness gracious, they're throwing bombs. Well, yeah, that is Hyrule Castle, and
yeah,
they don't really care for you there, so...
Public enemy number 1.
Yeah. I guess that's why they're throwing spears, trident swords, and bombs at you. Hey, guys.
Good eyes. He saw me when no one else did. What's the... I guess I'll just go through here.
Yeah, the Dreamcast. It's one of the things that I kind of wish I still had. I mean, of course you can get them again. Like,
yeah.
Go to your favorite used game store and just keep asking, hey, do you have it? I still have a couple of Dreamcast games in my
I have my
shelf.
What do you have? Because I've still got my Dreamcast.
I think I have...
a lot of games.
I have a couple of them. One of them is Evolution, which is a not-so-great RPG from that era. Alright. Why... What?
He follows you at some point. I can't remember when or why.
Yeah, it's nice that he's been there long enough that he has a sign saying, please do not disturb.
And then he keeps coming back to to stand at the sign rather than go somewhere else.
What a... I mean, hey. Everyone needs a hobby, I guess, but,
I don't really have many Dreamcast games. I think I only have... I have, like, a random baseball game that just happened to come with the Dreamcast when I first bought it. And then
I hurt you.
Yeah, I ran straight and I was in too much in line with it.
What the hell is that? Like that little... Oh, God.
Ah!
Oh, my God.
And
Alright, so desert sucks.
And then I have Crazy Taxi, but I think that's about it.
Yeah, I think I have 2 or 3 games from my Dreamcast because, like, at the time, like, I still had a Dreamcast. Okay.
Oh,
can't translate that.
Yeah. I need to get the book, which is in Kakariko Village. Crap.
Well, time to backtrack.
But I need the sprint shoe. Wait, do I have to? Oh, did I have to go? Did I have to go talk to Sasparilla?
You might have.
Oh,
what are those blue things, like the spidery things?
Mines.
Oh. Man, they really are throwing out all the stops, aren't you? Are they?
Yeah, I think I get the sprint shoes from Sasparilla. That's right.
Yeah.
I'll show you why I went the long way by accident. Just how short this walk actually was.
Are you serious?
I kind of went around like the whole map to some degree.
Well, then again, it is a scenic route. I haven't seen this before, so it's nice to see more of the world.
It's not the map is that big, but
no, I mean, hey, this came out in what, 1991 in the States?
So. I'm gonna go this direction.
Like, there's only so many things you can fit on these cartridges.
And then we're gonna go in this direction. And then we're gonna go in this direction.
Wait, so you went through that whole forest?
Hey, look, we're there. Yeah.
Oh my god.
The forest, running around the castle.
Oh, hey, we're back to Octorok City. Ah.
Hey, yo, Sasparilla.
Did you know you have an evil statue up front? Yeah. Knights. Yeah, they all died. Yeah. Still haven't fixed that hole in the wall, eh?
Yeah, sprint shoes.
You got some shoes.
Yeah, that's what I needed.
Yeah, because now you can do that and do that just delightful thing.
It has its uses. Not very often.
I mean...
The nice thing is that he holds up his sword when he runs, so whatever's in my way, I'll just bash.
And also, it's a really great way of like, just locomotion, of just... And go! Yeah, I'll have to check my shelf to see what Dreamcast
What
games
you
I
got
have.
for Dreamcast?
I know I have Evolution, which again is not the not the pinnacle RPG for the Dreamcast. But it was a fan of punny names, I will admit. Like, I think the main character's name's Mag Launcher. Yeah. Who also has his butler, because he's like an orphan kid, because of course he is, like Nade and various other things. It was a neat dungeon crawlery thing.
It's a little too on the nose.
Yeah, a little bit, and because like the whole thing is like the whole premise of the game of Evolution is you go explore these ancient ruins and you pay off your debt that your parents gave, so that like that's the whole point of the game is like you get these treasures, you sell them to make money to pay off your debt. And
That sounds like fun.
me, being a responsible little treasure hunter, was like, oh, I don't need upgrades or anything. I just want to pay this down, as fast as I can. Only to realize that doing so brings you to the final encounter, and I was woefully underpowered. And I can't go back to the dungeons. Or maybe you could, I don't know. This was like 20 years ago. Golden power.
Yeah, there's probably a few things we can do in here while I'm putzing around.
Yeah, but...
She's gonna run away from me because she's on my wanted sign.
Ah! Wait, what?
There's a door right there.
Alright.
That's what I wanted earlier. That's alright.
Are there only so many of those you can carry, like in Ocarina of Time? Like you could get 4?
Yeah, there's... I think there are 4 in total.
Yeah, that was,
I may as well just grab... I have a lot of money, so I may as well just grab some.
So, okay, so the red stuff restores your life.
Oh yeah, that's
What
the
is
same
it?
as it always was.
Yeah, red is life,
restores
green is
is
magic, and blue is both.
Is both. I don't think there's any door unless there's just a thing.
You are set dressing.
Alright, I'm trying to remember...
Well, turns out that lady was a bit of a narc, eh?
Oh, I think I can buy another bottle from this dude.
Yeah. Yeah. 100
Sure.
rupees? Yeah.
I got the money.
Oh, I like how he says now, hold it above your head.
There's a dungeon under there.
What?
Yeah, one of the later dungeons is actually under the...
It's under the frickin' weather vane?
Yeah. Alright, this is apparently an old friend of mine. He's gonna give me the...
Oh yeah, the bug net.
The bug net.
Oh yeah, that was going back to like the Dragon Quest thing. I was mentioning the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters, and one of the cool things, or like Easter eggs, was like in Final Fantasy 1 you could go to all the different like tombs and like gravestones, and it's just like it's a gravestone. But there's one in the town of Elfland that would say, back in the day, it said, "Here lies Erdrick."
How do you think the elves feel about living in Elfland?
I mean, kind of on the nose, isn't it?
It's a little...
But yeah, in the original ones before Square and Enix merged, Dragon Quest was the competitor to Final Fantasy, and there was one grave that said, "Here lies Erdrick," the main character of Dragon Quest.
Oh, I actually knew that. I read that somewhere.
Yeah,
that
and now
they made a little reference to it.
Yeah, they made a reference to Erdrick, but now because Square and Enix are the same thing, which I imagine to someone living in the 80s playing Final Fantasy and Dragon Warrior, Dragon Quest must have been, like, yeah, right, when pigs fly. But when I replayed it, it didn't say "Here lies Erdrick," it said "Here lies Link."
Oh, here lies Link. Interesting.
Yeah. Sorry about my yard.
know. I can't get there yet. I need the gloves.
Does one person really need 6 beds?
There are different levels of firmness, and what he needs changes on a nightly basis.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I can
whatever you got to do to sell it.
I think I can give him certain things, and he'll. My lost partner.
So you need to find his buddy, and
I'm trying to remember. It may or may not be that.
Sword.
May or may not be that dude that we found hanging out in the forest or the desert.
Other one is just like there with the sign.
Yeah.
Well, not much we can do in there. There's an angry door. Angry doors we can't go through.
I need the hammer so I can drop down to this little thing.
Why do you need the hammer for that? I mean, other than gameplay reasons, it looks like you can just fall in there. Because you can't go from the side, you have to go from the top. Oh, clever, clever.
Yep. You know, that whole knee-high,
yeah,
shin-high.
Can you throw the chicken in there? I mean, not saying that you should, but...
No.
I forgot you could do that.
What, do this?
Yeah, the whole spinny attack thing. Great way to clear grass.
Yes.
Because again, like I said, I realized why I never really got far in this game was because I saw every bush as an opportunity. Every bit of long grass being like, no, everything in Hyrule must be perfectly manicured. Well, that looks like a hole we can jump down.
I mean, speaking of Zelda games, so you played Ocarina, even though it's probably been many, many years.
Yeah, it's been probably 20 years since I've played Ocarina.
You've played bits and pieces of this game, and then you've played Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild to completion, yes.
Are there any... I guess that's important, because you said you played Ocarina of Time to completion as well.
Yes.
Right?
A couple of times, actually, yeah.
Are there any Zelda games that you were super intrigued by, or, like...
I mean, most of them, yeah. Most of them I am. And part of the reason I haven't played them is because you've had this on my radar for a while, so I've intentionally not played a lot of them.
I can't play these, because Ryan wanted to go through them.
Right, exactly. But especially like the remake of Link's Adventure on the Switch that they did, like that's intriguing. You know, I do eventually want to actually play A Link to the Past all the way through because it sounds awesome. You know, Zelda 2 just to see what it's like, and the fact that it's like a side-scrolling RPG sort of thing might be fun.
Well, Link's Adventure is Zelda 2.
Or what was the one for the NES? Was it
the
original? What the heck is the one that was on the Game Boy?
Link's Awakening.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that remake. Yes, I actually have that. They did a really good job with that remake.
Yeah, I heard that it was quite good.
Where? Why am I missing?
Yeah. What's the plan here?
Oh, you know what?
You have the book now, so you can go back to the desert.
I don't have the book yet.
What?
I have the shoes.
Shlammalama Ding Dong gave it to you.
Well, I haven't gotten... No, he gave me the...
Oh, he gave you the sprint shoes.
There we go.
But what do we need the sprint shoes for?
For the book.
Oh.
Sounds like an adventure game.
Oh, because you have to knock it off of the thing. Who put that on the top shelf, really?
Wasn't in the southern part of town, but it's fine because we ran through the town and we got a couple of things. So
yeah, we got some stuff.
It all works out.
Also, why is no one in the library? Like, no librarian. Just some random kid came in, ran into the shelf, and just ran off with a book and didn't check it out.
Somehow the other.
Well, wait. You're just gonna walk in there. There's 3 chests and walk out. What the heck's going on?
I gotta
here?
pay for them.
Oh, it's like a gambling thing. All right.
Ooh.
Well, can't open any more chests.
There probably is a heart in one of them, but
yeah. Is there like a piece of heart?
Yeah, probably. God damn it.
Well, 0 for 2. All right, feeling lucky. Well, you're consistent, if nothing else.
I thought they'd change it. All right, we're done.
All right, remind me not to go to Vegas with you.
Oh yeah, I've never won anything like that in my life. Excuse me while I
hey, you
blow
need
up
some
your wall.
remodeling?
You said yes, you do? Good. What's up, bro?
Did you come from my older brothers? I
To
mean,
be
did
fair,
you hear
there
the
was-
explosion?
To be fair, there was a real door there, and those brothers were having an argument and just decided to...
If you can reach the goal within 15 seconds, we will give you something good.
Yeah, I don't think I'm fast enough for this yet. I also went the wrong way.
If you have enough time to read this. Ah!
I actually could get it. I didn't think I had enough time, but I was only off by 2 seconds.
Yeah, if you hadn't
Promise.
stopped to read the sign.
Or gone in that direction.
Yeah.
I also thought I had to pay for that, so...
Yeah, apparently you don't, which is nice. And that gets
thought it
us
was-
3/4 of a heart container.
I think I... Do I... No, I thought I had 3 pieces. Oh, no, you're right. I only did 2. Okay.
We will give you something. Go! Ow. Oh, yeah. Easy.
Boom. Suck it.
I don't know why you couldn't just take that, but... Also, I'm amazed that the phrase, "I'm the bloody hero of time," doesn't get you more, credit in Hyrule, but...
Well, I'm
hey.
not the hero of time yet.
Yeah, I suppose right now you're just, like you said,
I'm just
public
some
enemy
kid playing
number one.
I'm just some kid playing dress up at the moment.
Yeah, who has a penchant for murdering soldiers of the kingdom. Yeah, are you the good guy in here?
Well, I mean, I kill one and then they just send it over to that guard's post and,
Yeah, Jim.
If the castle just left Frank alone.
Yeah. Oh boy, Jim bought the farm again.
Alright, now we can go back to the desert. This is definitely one of those games where the opening act, you just kind of like barrel through the plot as quickly as you can, and then once you kind of unlock the larger areas of the map, then you just kind of go off and do everything else. Eh.
Yep, still Captain Stoic over there.
Oh yeah. Ooh. Wait.
What?
There we go.
Oh yeah, you have another bottle.
Ow.
I can't put you in a bottle.
I need your little babies.
Yeah, do you have any of the small ones around? No reason.
I am excited to play some of the other Zelda games with you, just from like a form perspective,
Yeah.
Just because some of them are so dramatically different, just in style.
Yeah, and like tone too, because Breath of the Wild had its funny moments, but it was, definitely a dark sort of game. And then you have stuff like Twilight Princess, which is quite eminently
I was gonna say, talking about dark. I mean, Twilight Princess is easily the darkest one in the entire series.
But you
I
get
would
to be a
think, at
puppy.
least. That's personal opinions and all, but that's what I'm saying is darkest.
Yeah. But you get to be a puppy.
I guess. I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. More of a wolf, technically.
Details.
I mean, even
Oh,
some
now
of
you can't get out.
That's fine. Even
point of
even
no
some
return.
of the more, quote unquote, childish Zelda games still have some pretty dark tones to them.
Yeah. Man, there's a lot of desert in here.
Oh yeah. I mean, even the music just running through here is
Yeah.
pretty creepy.
Yeah. Dungeon crawling.
But I mean, you think about it, in a lot of Zelda games, Really starting with Wind Waker. Hyrule itself is like destroyed.
Right, like
Versus
the whole world's like underwater in Wind Waker.
Wind Waker, everything's underwater.
Yeah.
Twilight Princess, Hyrule's also been destroyed.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild obviously is like hundreds of years in the future.
Yeah, it's never a good time for the denizens of Hyrule.
No, never.
Oh boy.
Skyward Sword, Hyrule doesn't exist yet.
Right, because in the Grandmaster timeline thing,
oh my god,
Skyward Sword is like way early, right?
Stupid timeline. Yeah. All right,
not that the timeline matters, but
are we gonna talk about the timeline now?
I guess we are. I mean, other than like it is a thing that exists, probably just for the purpose of it existing.
And I don't know why Nintendo at some point decided that this needs to be a thing now. Because as far as I was concerned, they were all just like
they
were all relatively
stories.
They were all like remakes of each other, you know?
Yeah, it's like putting all the Final Fantasy games into a timeline. Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it has no, just because they've got similar characters and whatnot doesn't mean that they have to exist on the same level.
I like that sometimes some of the Final Fantasy games will refer to other ones.
That's more
like
fan
obliquely.
service.
Yeah, it's oblique.
Yeah, that's an Easter egg just for the fans. Like it doesn't actually change the narrative at all.
Yeah,
but like
there was one in Final Fantasy X-2 with one of the members of the Fahrenheit being Shinra, and he mentions like, oh yeah, this whole Farplane thing. I wonder if we could use it to power stuff. And there's an Easter egg, I think in like Dirge of Cerberus or Crisis Core, that shows like the founding of the Shinra Corporation, and Shinra is actually in the like group photo, but it's not canon. It's just kind of an Easter egg of like, oh hey, remember this?
Now I never actually played through 10-2.
I haven't either, and I want to because it sounds fun, and especially since I had more fun with the job system in Final Fantasy III than I thought I would.
I do and I don't, because...
Oh, that was obvious. Hey!
I do and I don't, only because it would be fun to play it, but I also know...
Don't you need the bug catcher net to get those?
Ooh, you're right. Sorry. I'm so used to
I know that?
I'm so used to Ocarina of Time where like you swing the bottle. You're right. Hooah!
Got a fairy.
Because 10-2, I know that the ending of 10-2 doesn't actually change anything.
Not terribly.
Like you're going after.
I mean, you save the world again, but
well, yeah. But the whole premise of the game was because maybe Titus is still alive, but but he's not.
Hey.
Like it doesn't actually.
Unless you get like the super good ending.
Is there a super good ending? I thought the canon ending was that nothing actually changed.
No, I think the best the canonical ending is Titus comes back.
Really?
Yeah, like Bahamut's Faith asks if you want to see him again, and you can. And
so what do you do?
There's a whole bunch of audio dramas that take place after 10-2 as well. That seem to imply
audio dramas
that things
you can buy, like.
It's part of the HD remaster that they included stuff that occurred after 10-2 and sort of explained what happened to Riku, Pain, and Yuna, and what happens between Yuna and Titus, and
it actually explains how all of a sudden your three main female characters became a pop band.
It's actually all the stuff that happens after the events of 10-2.
Oh.
I mean, there is an interlude between 10 and 10-2 that explains how Yuna and Riku decide to go be adventurers. I don't remember how they met Pain. I'm sure it's explained in the game, but I haven't played it yet. But hey, Busky. But yeah, there's like a 5-minute interlude that's like just Yuna telling her side of the story just before the events of 10-2 and explaining like, you know, kind of like how Titus did in 10 of like narrating the story from his perspective. Yuna's doing the same thing. And it shows her like underwater, like trying to hold her breath. And, you know, she's like, you know, 2 minutes, you know, 30 seconds is like, I'm getting better. And, you know, holding on to the hope that like eventually, you know, she'll see Titus again. And then Yuna shows up with a like a recording sphere that has someone who looks an awful lot like Titus.
Right, and I thought that was all just a giant-ass MacGuffin.
I mean, it is, but...
But I thought that it was like a giant MacGuffin, and the reality was that Titus is not alive, and there's no way to bring him back. And
yeah, half of that is true.
That the canon ending was, nope, you can't get him. He's gone. Sorry. See ya.
Yeah, nope. No, you can totally get him back, and I guess that's the canonical, like, good ending is Yuna brings Titus back, and then things go south. If the, like, audio dramas and stuff are all canon, which... Ooh. You can feel the power.
All right, well, as far as Zelda's concerned...
Yeah.
The timeline is... Talking about timeline. I'd also be very curious to know, as far as, like, something like Final Fantasy is concerned, how stringently they adhere to a lot of the stuff from the game's sequels. Like, how many people out there really invested in playing 10-2 and anything beyond that, or like the Final Fantasy 13 series beyond the first game?
Right. I couldn't make it through the first game.
Final Fantasy VII's got, you know, a prequel and like...
Yeah, because it has like
three different games that serve as sequels. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
There's Advent Children. Whoa, that was close.
As far as Zelda's concerned, they just decided to make it super hella confusing.
Because there's like branching paths, if I recall correctly.
Yes,
right?
They branched off of Ocarina of Time, and they branch depending on effectively who wins. Kind of, because there's actually 3 branches.
Of course there are.
There's the branch if Link wins. And I forget what it goes to. There's the branch.
So, like, you completed Ocarina of Time and Link beats Ganon.
Correct. You defeat Ganon. Yes. Ooh.
That was close.
You defeat Ganon in that regard.
Why does everything have lasers?
There's you defeat Ganon. Ganon defeats you. Ow. Ow.
Ouch.
There it is. And then there's a third one that I think there's a third one that's basically you didn't go after Ganon.
Yeah, like you basically are like, saw this, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, it's like this. I'm not gonna bother. I forget which game goes to what. I think Wind Waker is the Ganon one. I don't remember where...
I remember getting stuck there in the emulator for a very, very long time. Being like, what the fuck do I do?
All else fails, just light everything on fire.
I didn't even know you could light those things on fire. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, top down, they don't exactly look like lanterns.
Yeah. It's like, what do I put in these? And it never occurred to me the answer was fire. Ooh, cool. Real effective on that first swing, huh?
Oh yeah, I forgot. The balls. Thank you.
There we go. I'm like,
I know I had to hit.
Are you going to kill this thing or just play with it?
Well, you're supposed to hit the. Gotta watch out for the rocks coming out. You're supposed to hit the head. Ow.
Oh.
Yeah, I just don't remember what game goes to what.
Yeah, and
based on the
ultimately,
ending.
like, it doesn't really matter.
Well, that's the whole thing is like, why'd you even do this to begin with? Because
Yeah.
They're all effectively the same freaking story.
Yeah.
Right? Like
they're all hero stories, and they all have a lot of elements. And yeah, like
they're all hero stories. They're all in Hyrule. They're all about the same hero that's facing off against the same baddie. Like, what was the point? They just made it more complicated by trying to combine. You know, combine all these games and force them into some collective storyline. Like, it just doesn't. It's unnecessary.
And it may have been something that they wanted to do something to say, like, no, this is how it happened, because so many people were, you know, throwing out theories because they wanted a unified timeline, not realizing that perhaps they didn't.
Yeah. I would hazard a guess that things like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, people loved the idea that all these properties were being combined into kind of one unified story. And they were like, ooh, we should do that. You know, like it was...
This guy's gonna turn red.
No, he just tosses up more rocks.
So he does.
He's faster and he tosses up more rocks when he comes out.
Oh yeah, all 8 directions.
So I just think they did it because it was the popular thing to do, just to combine all the different stories, even though they didn't really effectively didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And no one really knows or remembers how they all connect.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't. Yeah, like I said, it's like it doesn't really matter.
No, not at all. But it is funny to think.
Refill your life this time.
It will in a second.
The heart container doesn't refill your life, but collecting the pendant does.
If I remember correctly.
Maybe. Yeah, pendant of power. It does restore your life. So getting the heart container doesn't, but getting the pendant does.
Hwah!
Yeah, now we're cooking with gas.
But I'll be intrigued, kind of going through some of the other games with you that are have a modicum of variation to them, just to kind of see how the style grips you. Because I remember playing Wind Waker, and I was one of those people at the time. I was like, this isn't a real Zelda game because of all of the.
Yeah, it was like super cell shaded, and for me,
the cell shading.
Like, I liked the parts of Ocarina of Time where I was an adult because I didn't want to play as Kid Link. I wanted to play as Adult Link because he looked more badass.
Yeah. But I think Wind Waker over
Wind
time.
Waker, it's just like, God, Link's a child and it looks too cutesy, and I missed out on a fantastic game.
Link is a child most of the time, but I think with the play style definitely leaned more towards. You were obviously a child in this one, just because of the style. But it's definitely a game that has aged very well, and I think a lot of people look back at Wind Waker and are like, "This is one of the best Zelda games."
Yeah, this is probably one of the best. Yeah. And it turns
and
out
I would actually agree.
You're just not going to talk to that guy after destroying all of his pottery.
No, he's an angry dude.
I mean, he looked it.
he's got an attitude.
Still hanging out here?
Yep. I don't remember how to get him to follow me. I also don't think that book is used for like anything else.
Oh, it just takes up a slot in your freaking inventory.
Yeah, I don't think I use it for anything.
So that
useful.
black rock you can't lift, right?
Nope, I gotta get stronger gloves. All right, well, now that we got the power gloves.
Yes.
Let's go get.
Yeah, now we can lift heavy stuff.
And we're right about roughly around an hour for recording.
Yeah, not bad.
So I'm gonna have to split everything up.
Yeah, this is a note for future Ryan.
For editing, Ryan. Do I want to go? Yeah, I'll go this way.
Hyrule Castle.
No, not quite yet.
Oh wait, no, that's I did that when I was playing through this as a kid too. Of like, all right, Hyrule Castle is not here.
Hyrule's in the middle of all the water. Just remember that. It's like one giant moat around the.
It's just like Zora River, right?
Yeah. And we're gonna go talk to the Zoras. Now that I got them gloves.
Love
Don't
that
hit
little
those
green
things.
guy just having a good time.
Don't hit him.
Wait, don't?
Do not hit. Oh, yeah, you want to see what happens when you hit him?
Yeah, I kind of do now. What the hell happens? Oh, they're electric.
Yep. You can attack them. The only way you can hit him with a sword is you gotta stun him with a boomerang first. But it's usually just easier to leave them alone. Because they don't actively attack you.
Yeah, it looks like they don't, attack you.
Blah.
It's just, they feed off of your bloodlust.
Yeah. Yes, they are.
And they are kind of delightful. Man, that crab woke up pissed this morning. Jeez.
Welcome to the. Oh, I didn't want to do that.
Welcome to the.
I don't think I can get to that part piece yet.
Well, the good news is that you've gotten pretty good at drowning. That looks oddly suspicious. Oh, it doesn't actually harm you.
No, it just sends me back to where I was.
Man, it's a good thing the overworld theme's awesome, because otherwise I would have been real tired of hearing it by now.
You've been listening to it a lot.
Yeah.
You jumped a hell of a way.
Damn.
That was a hell of a jump.
Alright, you just gonna hang out there? Alright. You cool, we cool. It really is quite something that they managed to put all this stuff on a cartridge back in the 90s, and you could scroll, and there aren't really a lot of loading scenes or anything.
No, I mean, it's just really when you're going from one location to the next.
Right, I think that was the first loading scene I remember seeing, other than going into a dungeon, where you got the screen wipe and transition. Ow. And the Zora kind of look like... Are these the Zora? I thought the Zora were friendly. Apparently not. Okay.
What's
Hi. I just dropped by. 500 rupees. Well, time to get grinding.